guys. This is Unit 1, Lesson 10, Practice with Unlike Mixed Numbers. This should be a complete review for you. We're going to talk about adding and subtracting those mixed numbers with like and unlike denominators. So finding those common denominators, talk about how we can find those, and then practice that adding and subtracting with them. Okay, so here are just some practice problems that we're going to work through. We're going to add or subtract. Watch your signs. I know that gets me sometimes forgetting which symbol it says. So for example, this one here says subtraction. So making sure that I'm actually going ahead and subtracting when it says subtract rather than adding on accident. Okay, so when I have a whole number and I need to subtract a fraction from it, it's just like borrowing. So I'm going to change that 3 into a 2. And because my denominator on my other fraction, my 1 2/5 is 5, I'm going to borrow 5/5. That way I'm just borrowing straight away, okay? And then I can go on and say 5/5 minus 2/5 is 3/5. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 3/5. On this next one, in order to add, I need to find my common denominator. It's 5 and 10. Those are fairly easy ones, so I know that I multiply 5 by 2 to get 10. My rule is whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator, so I'm going to multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. I look at my fractions, I say, oh, 7/8 minus 8/8, I can't do that. I need to borrow, so I'm going to cross out my 2, make it a 1. I'm borrowing 10 tenths. So 10 tenths plus 7 tenths makes the 17 tenths. So now 17 tenths minus 8 tenths would be 9 tenths. Okay? Oh, it was addition. See what I mean? I forget what I'm doing. Okay, let's try that again. How about we multiply by 2, multiply by 2. 8 tenths. How about we add those instead? So 7 tenths plus 8 tenths equals 15 tenths, which is an improper fraction. It's a 5. Sorry about that, guys. 15 tenths, improper fraction. I need to change that. I get 1 5/10. If you know your fractions, you know that this is equal to 1 1/2. And now I'm going to add my 2's. I got 4 there. 4 plus 1 1/2, right? I end up with 5 1/2. That's my answer. Okay, so moving on. 7 5/9 minus 3 2/15. I got to find my common denominator. I can do that again by listing my multiples out. So for those of you who are uncomfortable with your 9's, right, 9 plus 9 gets me 18. So I know my multiples of 9, 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to do my multiples of 15. I go 15. 30, 45. I've now found my least common multiple, which is my least common denominator, which is the number I want to use. It's multiplying 9 times 5. So whatever I do to the denominator, got to do to the numerator. Okay, 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, multiply these by 3, right? 15 times 3 is 45, and 2 times 3 is 6. 25 now minus 6 is 19/45. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So there's my answer. Okay, so just making sure I've got those common denominators as I work through. 4 5/6 plus 6/7. 42 is my common denominator. It's multiplying 6 times 7 and 7 times 6. Remember my rule, whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. Okay, so 7 times 5 is 35. Again, 6 times 7 gets me my 42. And my common denominator is 42. 7 times 6 is 42. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, it's addition, so I'm good to go. 35 plus 36 is 71. Now, as soon as I get that, I can see that I have an improper fraction, and I need to see how many 42s I can pull out of 71. It's only one. That equals 1 and 29 42nds. When I do that subtraction, I take 71 and I minus 42 from it. I've got a 4 up here, so now I have to add 4 to this, plus 4, right, equals 5 and 29 42nds. Okay? So again, it's just some basic practice on those. If you guys want to pause and do number 5 and number 6, that would be great. Come back and check your answers. Okay, welcome back. You should have found that this one is 37 40ths. When you did your subtraction there, 40 is your common denominator. It's multiplying 8 by 5, 1 by 5, 5 by 8, 5 by 8. Okay? 5 40ths, 8 40ths. Needed to borrow. Makes that a 4. Makes this 45 40ths and minus the 8 40ths. Okay? On the next one, you should have gotten 10 and 69 hundredths. Okay, it's multiplying this one by 10 equals 90 hundredths. Okay, it's addition, so you just add straight away. You get that improper fraction, and then you need to simplify it, convert it. Okay, so let's try this next one. 13 sixteenths and 2 thirds. Ugh. I don't see a common denominator in there right away. So sometimes the easiest thing for me to do is just multiply by the other denominator, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take 13, multiply it by 3, I get 39. I'm going to take 16, multiply it by 3, I get 48 for my common denominator. Okay? 2 times 16, 32. Okay, so now I've got 39 plus 32, okay, which is 71 48ths, which is an improper fraction. So I need to simplify that. I get 1 and 23 48ths when I subtract out. Okay, why don't you guys pause again and try the next two problems, 8 and 9. Welcome back. You guys should have found 4 and 4/5. Okay, that 4/5 was simplifying it. You would have taken it up to 20ths to start with, and then brought it back down, right? So I would have multiplied 4 times 5 to get 20ths, and I would have gotten 5 20ths. Okay, 5 20ths minus 9 20ths doesn't work. I would have to borrow. I borrow 20 20ths, so I get 25 20ths minus 9 20ths. Okay, 25 minus 9 would get me 16 20ths. And then 16 20ths equals 4/5. So that's where I'm getting that 4/5 from. I would accept, for right now, this one as well, but I much prefer this one. You guys should be getting to the point where you're ready to simplify. Okay, on this last one, 17 and 55 22nds. Okay, so just continuing to think about that and how those work. Okay, let's try this story problem out. The Taylors have 4 dogs. Molly eats 4.5 cups of food each day. Roscoe eats 3 2/3 cups. Milo eats 1 3/4 cups, and Fifi eats 3/4 of a cup. How much do the Taylor's dogs eat all together? So we're adding all of these numbers up. Okay, you're going to do 4.5 plus 3 2/3 plus 1 3/4 plus 3/4. My common denominator is 12. So what I want you guys to do is convert all these to 12s and then come back and check them. Okay, welcome back. When you guys got these converted, you should have found this one is 4 6/12. one is 3 8/12. This one is 1 9/12. And again, 9/12. Okay, now add all those up and then simplify. Pause if you need to, guys. Should have gotten 10 2/3. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop there for today. If you guys want a challenge, answer question 11, and we'll provide the answer in class. We'll see you guys tomorrow in class.